Now, I'm not entirely sure when exactly the figurine was made, because there isn't a date on anything, but mine did come with... Hello fellow Ozians, I'm the Louisiana Quadling, a Wizard of Oz collector and enthusiast, sharing with you my thoughts, my collection, and a little bit of my musical talent with all of you, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about some pretty unique pieces in my Wizard of Oz collection. Now, while most collectibles are based on either the classic MGM movie or the original illustrations as illustrated by W.W. Denslow, it's not every day that we get Oz pieces based off of another Oz illustrator. And in this case, we're looking at pieces based off of Evelyn Copelman's illustrations. Back in 1944, Bob's Merrill wanted to update the illustrations for The Wizard of Oz, and so they had Evelyn Copelman do the new illustrations. And for more info on this edition, later editions, so forth and so on, I covered this previously in another video, and that video is linked down below. The first piece that we'll be looking at is a belt buckle. And this features the Evelyn Copelman illustration that she did for the end papers of the Grosset and Dunlap edition, which has Dorothy, Scarecrow, Tim, and Lion on the Yellow Brick Road, seeing the Emerald City for the first time. This particular belt buckle was made around 1976 and was made by the Indiana Metal Craft. Now, if you've ever seen one of these belt buckles out in the wild, you've probably never seen one that looks quite so shiny. That is because I took a toothbrush and Comet cleaner and over a couple of days got it to look like this. Believe me, I'm just as surprised as you are that it cleaned up this good, because when I got this, it was black. This is also one of the heaviest belt buckles I've ever handled, but since I'm not from Texas, I don't know much about belt buckles. So if you do intend on wearing this, just be, aware before you get this that this thing is kind of heavy. And our next piece is a figurine that was produced around 10 years later by the Fairfield Collectors Group. And this comes from a collection of figurines that featured different scenes from different classic novels. It is interesting that this figurine also features the exact same illustration as the belt buckle. This is the only Wizard of Oz piece from this collection. There are no other Oz books that are depicted. Some of the other ones that were made were like Heidi and Tom Sawyer. It is at least a little interesting that both pieces feature the same illustration. I'm not sure if this is because that was how this was licensed out and that this was the only illustration that could be used. I don't know, because at least I know that licensing was very different back then compared to what it is today. What do you think? Now, I have hardly seen these sell with their original boxes, but I do have that to show you today. Mine came with its original styrofoam box, and the front says The Wizard of Oz on it, and the rest of it looks pretty standard as far as styrofoam boxes go. Now, I'm not entirely sure when exactly the figurine was made, because there isn't a date on anything, but mine did come with the original receipt from the original owner, and that is from 1987. So we can guess that it's at least around the late 80s that this piece came out. And that's all of the pieces that at least I have from my collection that feature Evelyn Copelman's illustrations as an inspiration. Do you own either of these two pieces? Or maybe you own another piece that I don't know about? Let's have a discussion down in the comments section. And if you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. New videos are posted every 2 weeks on the 15th and last day of each month. And if that doesn't satisfy your appetite for Oz, follow the link in the description to ozclub.org and join the International Wizard of Oz Club. Until next time, bye y'all.